Hey, there's no getting around it. College is expensive. If you graduate from a state school, you are likely to have in excess of $26,000 in debt. If you go to a private school, it's likely to be a lot more. If you go to graduate or professional school, hold on to your socks. You're going to be deep in debt. So if you want to find out ways of reducing that debt substantially, or maybe having none at all, stay tuned. I think we all can agree that debt is not a fun thing. In fact, if you have a large amount of college debt, it will impact all your decisions going forward from the time you finish school. It may affect your ability to buy a house or have children. It's going to basically affect all of your life decisions if you have a great deal of debt. Hi, this is G.H. Glade for Coaching ADD, and this is not so much an ADD only topic. A real starting point is how you think about things. I found a really helpful way of reframing this is turn a problem into a question. Now look at the problem. I didn't have money for school. I didn't have parents that had deep pockets and could support me and whatnot. But when I framed it from I have no money to school to how do I find money for school, that put control back in my corner. I could apply it as a question to be answered rather than a problem weighing down on me. And this reframe in terms of the very issue of how you find money for school is really important. I find it a good strategy through life. Well, school begins with filling out the free application for federal student aid. It has kind of a funky acronym, but this is the gateway to applying to all of the federal programs. And then for federal programs, it's pretty easy. You can just put in a Google search, federal grant and scholarship programs, and the screen will light up. But that application, which is free, inherent in the name, is your starting point for that. But that is not the only source of money. We want to turn to your individual state. I actually went to school on a state program for my last degree, and I have 4 of them. And my total indebtedness for 4, which include 2 graduate degrees, 1 at a private Jesuit university, that translates to freakishly expensive, was only $1,500. So this is something you can do, but you have to be persistent. So to get information on what your state offers, all you have to do is pull up the U.S. Department of Education website. It will allow you to see just what your state offers, and they offer many different sorts of programs. Oftentimes, these are repayment programs. They want you to work in a need area. I was fortunate to be in healthcare. Healthcare is nothing but a need area. I didn't have to relocate to find a need area to work off my repayment. Now, I recommend that people sign up for 2 of the major search engines for scholarships. I'm going to put a couple of these in the notes below so you can readily access those. But why would you pull up 2 of these? Well, they use different algorithms to search. And yes, you're going to find some overlap. Absolutely, you will. But you're also going to turn up some that one search engine doesn't uncover and the other one will. So 2 different search engines. The search engines are pretty cool because they allow you to track the progress on a particular scholarship. And I recommend that you put all your applications on a spreadsheet, and so you can track their progress. When are you supposed to hear? When is it time to get back to them? Hey, this is G.H. Glade, and I want to tell you that I am running a little bit of a contest. I recently wrote a book, The Optimized College Student, and I want to grow this channel. And so what I'm going to ask you to do is refer this video to someone who can use it. And in the comments section, put, hey, I did it, I referred so-and-so, some comment that lets me know that you have followed through and referred this video on to someone else. When I reach 100 new subscribers, I am going to give away 2 autographed copies of the book, The Optimized College Student. This doesn't have to be for you. It can be for someone you know and love or could use the book. It is a really good book. I gotta say that. It's the book I wanted when I first started school. And if this video has been useful for you, thump that like button. Let's get back to the information. I appreciate you doing that, and take care. Let's look at another source that won't be on the algorithms at all. That's local employers. And I want to detail one local employer to the Seattle area. There is a place called Dick's Drive-In. And if you live in this area, you know Dick's. Dick's is very popular. In fact, when they open a new one, it is on the front page of the local paper. The burgers are, well, when you look at them, they aren't all that hot, but they are so addictive and so good. But Dick's is marvelous in terms of its scholarship benefits. Now, the norm is that most college students are going to have to work. Dick's pays more than many work-study jobs. But for 20 hours a week, they offer some really pretty good benefits. This includes $3,500 in scholarship money for the first 2 years of your school. If you stay with Dick's Drive-In for the last 2 years, you get $9,000, and it gets better from there. If you have children, they will give you a child care grant between $3,500 and $9,000. The hospital system I worked for was affiliated with UW. They had substantial educational benefits, and they were confined to Washington State schools. Hospitals are often a very good source, particularly if they have a university affiliation. Now, here's where the digging starts. You aren't going to find these on the search engines at all. And it's looking around to various employers. If they have a scholarship benefit, believe me, on their corporate site, they're going to let you know about it. This is community action in its essence. And a company wants that goodwill of letting the public know that they support young adults in pursuit of their education. And this is where the real sort of routing out money comes into play. They just aren't going to be on any of the search engines. If you have a parent that is working, and most of you will, check out their employer. If your parent works for a company and they have an educational benefit, you really have a substantial edge in getting any scholarship money from that company. One group of people I came in contact was people working for an organization called AmeriCorps. AmeriCorps is a 12-month commitment, and it is perfect if you are thinking about a gap year. And I really like gap years for people. If you don't know what you want to do, isn't it a better idea to have a good idea of this before you start paying out all that money? AmeriCorps offers $6,000 in scholarships. I have people I know that financed a good bit of their education with that AmeriCorps money. Now, the Peace Corps has been around forever, and the people I know that have been in the Peace Corps say it was an absolutely life-changing experience. When you moved out of the predictable and you really stretched yourself and you lived within another country and culture, boy, it changes you. When you come back, they offer scholarship money. And a lot of this is oriented toward graduate programs because they really want people with a skill set, and oftentimes that means education, before being accepted into the Peace Corps. But don't overlook any volunteer organization because oftentimes they have scholarships associated with them. And these may or may not be on the search engines. Churches are often a really good source of scholarship money. They tend to not be huge amounts. But the overall theme is that I want you to look far and wide for money. And what it may mean is you have a whole bunch of different sources making up a larger whole that covers all of your expenses. I want to take a little time to tell you about a young man that I saw in 2008 at the beginning of the Great Recession. He knew that he was never going to get a summer job because there are too many people looking to just keep food on the table, and they were looking for anything. So he made his summer job looking for money. He went to a school in California called Occidental. At the time, it was about $55,000 a year. He turned back $20,000. You can't make a profit on going to school, but you can have all of your expenses. So 4-year education, his core research that summer netted him over $200,000 tax-free. I lost track of him when he decided to stay down in California, but he had talked even then about going to graduate or professional school, and I am absolutely sure he had that paid for too. I want to underscore, this is something you can do. Labor unions are great in terms of their financial support. And you may think it's only for college. Well, it's that too, but they also support a lot of people in scholarships for people going into the trades. That costs money too, often less than going to a college or university. A lot of times these programs are offered through community college or specific vocational training programs. I want to highlight one. Most people know the Dirty Jobs guy, Mike Rowe. Mike Rowe has a foundation. He gets big corporate contributions, and he gives away lots of money to people going into the trades. And right now we have a real shortage of people in vocational work. And it is a short course to what is often a 6-figure income. If you have a vocational pathway in mind, don't think that you can't get money for that, because you can. There is money out there for you as well.
Military. Now, this is a mixed issue, and the military is certainly not for everyone. I happen to have funded a good bit of my education through my military service, and it can begin in college with the ROTC programs. And of course, there is an obligation to go serve after they have helped fund your education. But if you do enter the military, it is a bonanza for free money to go to school. Very often, bases will have an affiliate college, and they discount the tuition there. Over and above these discounts, the military itself will offer financial bonuses for you to go to school. And that says nothing about the benefits for when you get out of the military and have things like the GI Bill to give you direct money in effort to support you going to school. Other avenues, if you are within the military, and this often applies only to officer corps. I ran into several people in grad school that were active military. They wore normal clothes. They lived in normal housing. They had their full military salary and 100% of their school covered. And yes, while it's not for everybody, if you do go the military route, my goodness, you can get a lot of education both during and after as a result of your military service.
Professional organizations. Now, these have layers. Most Fortune 500 companies offer scholarship programs. This is a norm for better companies. If you have a parent or relative working for them, that's an easy pathway to find out what they offer. All you have to do is go to corporate websites, because information on scholarship programs will be there. But it can start even earlier, in high school. Many professional groups have student societies, and these are often supported by Fortune 500 companies. If you have an idea of a career path and there is a student society for that, join that, because there is money to be had there for school. Now, I made reference to the book that I'm putting out in the world. If you're going to a traditional college program, this book can be a game changer. Basically, it was the book I wish I had when I first started school, because that was a rough course for me. And I am looking for you to basically share this video. And if you share it, go to the comments, leave a note, hey, I shared it, or I sent so-and-so to it. If you're new to this channel, go make a comment, say, hey, I'm here, I joined your channel. And once I reach 100 new subscribers, I'm going to have a drawing for 2 autographed copies of the book. So until next time, I want to thank you for sharing your time with me. I want you to share it. If you like this content, thump that like button. And we'll see you next week. Take care.